So what else is going to happen? Nobody knows. Nobody knows for sure. Or for not for sure.
And if I were to ask you what you're talking about, would you know for sure what's going on?
I wouldn't have an idea.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
No idea whatsoever. So, should we get started?
Let's get started on this fluff.
May as well get started. What the heck, right? Okay. And have you got anything you want to say before we get started? Anything at all? Perhaps.
You know things.
Uh-huh.
I do actually. I want to say 3 things to you.
To me.
The first thing is...
Yes.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
And take a guess what the second thing I want to tell you is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Almost.
Off the rails.
Close.
Where's Mumbai?
No. Actually, that's not close, but yeah, you're getting there.
Socks. Koala bears. Wallabies.
Okay, yay! So that's the second thing I want to tell you is wallaby.
Okay.
And the
wallaby.
third thing I want to tell you, you actually just said. So what's the third thing I want? Yes, okay, great.
Socks.
Now.
There you go. All right. This is Barely Furcasting, featuring Tabin and Injured Nerves audio production. Moobarkfluff, and welcome to all our listeners out in the Podiverse. I am Barely Normal, your co-host Ursa, without any MRSA. And with me is that silent pup, that hyper pup, that shyster of shill, Tabin. How the fluff are you, Tabin?
Hi, I am with shill in my pill that likes to bill. I don't know. Other than that, I am doing great. Yeah. It's been busy pup week. But, it's been good. Been running around doing this stuff. So I'm pretty good overall. How about you, Mr. Barely? How are you today? And how has your week been? We all want to know.
Well, actually, nobody really wants to know. They just listen to us because I think they feel sorry for us at this point. But
there is that.
It's like, well, let's see what those two are up to again this week. Oh, same old.
Okay, go on to the next thing.
Go on to the next. So my big news this week is I got my COVID booster in my right arm and my flu shot in my left arm.
Nice.
So both arms are a little sore. I have to say I got the Johnson & Johnson booster because I had the Johnson & Johnson
the first time
vaccination the first time. But boy, that booster hurt. Oh, wow.
I was going to ask you, how did it compare to the first time? But now we know.
The first time was nothing. They put this in there and I was like, oh my God, that hurts. And she's like, yeah, people have been saying this one hurts. I'm like,
that's so interesting. It's like, it's not different, but interesting.
I don't know.
Have you had
maybe it was
any
thicker? I don't know.
Have you had any aftershocks? Not the word, but like
adverse reactions.
Yes, that works.
I have not had any adverse reactions to either shot.
Nice.
Thank you. My golden dulcet tones,
yes.
Deeper than normal. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So that's like your little brother. You're barely normal, and your little brother is deeper than normal.
Deeper than... I like it. That was good.
I don't know.
You pulled that one right out. That was pretty good. So
there'll be no more, I'm sure.
All right. Well, let's take it to our weekly challenge this week. I would like everyone that's listening to get on the chat and tell us just how big of a turkey you're going to make for Thanksgiving dinner in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but how are you going to cook it?
Yeah, there are different ways.
There are different methods, yes.
We've been watching the Goldbergs, and that reminds me, an episode we just watched a few days ago is a Thanksgiving one. And, Beverly has her own special way she does it. But then the uncle would boil the turkey and stuff. Anyway, that reminded me of that.
Boil it?
He boiled the turkey. And there's a scene in the episode where the turkey just shoots out of because it's boiling and all the pressure or something. So it shoots out and hits a car and stuff. And then you know how at Goldberg's at the very end, they always do actual thing of when Adam was filming. Mm-hmm. And so he showed a scene of that actually happening back in the day when he was a kid and filmed it. So it was pretty cool.
Now, were they boiling it or were they deep frying it outside?
Oh, it was probably deep frying. That's probably right.
Okay. I was going to say, because boiling it would be, you could, I guess, but Ew.
You wouldn't want to eat it afterwards.
No, it'd be kind of slicky and slimy. But anyway,
Ugh.
so yeah, tell us how big how big your turkey is going to be, and how you intend to cook it. Now, so my hubby a couple of years ago, when he first got his sous vide, and that's SOUSVIDE. It's French, basically for water bath. And you put the chicken or the food inside a plastic bag, and then you bring it up to temperature in the water bath. The water doesn't actually touch the food; it's just heating the food.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Yeah. So the nice things you can do about that is if you want you can cook steaks that way. Say you want your steak to be 140 degrees edge to edge. It's going to be 140 degrees
like
edge to edge.
inside and everything?
Inside and everything, 140 degrees. And you can put it in the morning, and it'll keep that temperature all day long. So when you come home, your steak is perfectly cooked to your perfectly medium rare. And then you take it out, you do a quick little sear on either side to brown it, and bingo, bango, bongo. You've got
the
great
wallabies
food.
are having their socks. Those French are amazing.
They are amazing French. But for Thanksgiving, he took 2 turkeys and he disassembled one.
Okay. Do we know why?
And then took all the bones out and took all the meat and then pounded it out so that it was like this big flat turkey meat. And then,
like a big hamburger type thing?
Well, no, kind of like just take all the meat and pound it out so it's flat.
Okay.
And then he put seasoning and stuff in there, and then he rolled it up tight, and they call it a roulade. It's another French way of cooking.
Roulade.
Roulade. Yes.
Roulade.
Yes. So you should know what sous vide is because you speak French. The French language.
Avec
anyway.
les souris.
But he had to buy meat glue for that.
Meat glue? They have
meat glue. Yes. It's like an enzyme and an amino acid, and you sprinkle it on there, and then when you roll it up, it's basically just amino acids from other meats, and it glues it all together. So when you slice it, you have this nice, beautiful roll of turkey with all the spices and everything in there, and it was delicious. It was wonderful. Yes.
I was going to say, did it turn out okay? But it did. Good.
It did. It turned out great. Yeah.
And I just earned 2, I think, not SUVs, but CEUs.
That's right. We told everybody this was going to be a big CEU episode, so there's 2 for
really
that.
Did. And
you
not
learned
only
what a sous
do
vide was,
not only do we have all of that, but we now have 2 big cars that we can tote our
2 big
CEUs
sous vides. Yes, that's right. Okay, so that brings us to the past today. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is dipped and shipped. Now, you and I,
that mentioned
we
last
talked
week.
about that last week, and it has to do with sheep farming. Now, sheep, as you know, have wool. That's where you get your wool from. Like, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full.
3 bags full.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So the problem with that is the wool on the sheep gets bugs and funguses and things like that in there.
Grass and stuff. Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you have to get all that out of there. And they developed this sheep dip in the 1830s.
A sheep dip?
A sheep dip, yes.
Why do I want nachos all of a sudden?
Right? It's nachos with sheep dip. That's wonderful. Okay. It's a wonderful thing. Essentially, it was done most common before being shipped to market or to another farmer. So they would be dipped and shipped. So that would be their thing. They dipped them and shipped them. But now they basically dip your sheep once a year. Most sheep farmers will dip their sheep once a year to get rid of all the stuff. And they haven't changed the chemical compound since 1852.
So apparently this is working.
It works very well. However, it's very, very, very toxic to the sheep farmers.
Which may be why they only do it once a year.
Probably. And you can also get it can leach into the water system. So now the dipping box, if you will, is all self-contained. And the sheep go in and they just kind of fall into this like tank. There's a splash. And then they paddle to the other side and get out. And then they stay in another self-contained area, and they then shake off all the excess, and then they go outside and dry off. Now,
I love this idea of a sheep paddling around. That's so cute.
It's like, yay!
I never even
little
thought
sheep
of that.
paddles. The problem is that a lot of farmers still absorb some of the stuff, and that's why I always heard as a kid, because I grew up as a teenager out in the countryside of outside of Staten and Sublimity. Lots of sheep farmers out there, and I always heard people calling those crazy sheep farmers. So now I know why, because it's a neurological. It's a neurological agent that makes them a little crazy. So,
I see.
So there you go.
That's funny. That's really good.
So another CEU earned.
Apparently.
Did you find out about the ordained furry flight?
Ordained.
You were going to look that
furry flight.
Ordained.
So back in 2017, there's this thing called Midwest Fur Flight. It was an actual Virgin Airlines, I believe, an actual flight from the West Coast to MFF. And so this fur by the name of Mike Wolf, aka Canis Volps, so furries would book flights on as a group on this flight. Furs would actually sign up for this and everything, and they go on this flight to MFF. And on in this year, at least 66 furries were actually on the plane, and there were additional furries that had booked the flight separately, not knowing about this. And so effectively, there were actually a majority of the 119-seat plane were furries. So what would happen is fursuiters were escorted by security into their own priority line to expedite the screening process, with suiting permitted afterwards. Furries were also given their own boarding pass as a group after first class. So there's a perk right there. And so they would go suit up in the airplane terminal, and they would board the plane and be in suit on the plane. And there's pictures on the internet about this and everything. And this was actually a connected flight. So there are actually 2 flights involved, and they would do this for both flights.
Wow, very cool.
Unfortunately, due to failure to achieve any direct contact with O'Hare airport officials, fursuiters were not permitted, or fursuiting was not permitted in the last airport, and so they had to take off their heads and everything. They decapitated them. It's horrible.
It's terrible. Terrible. Just terrible.
It's terrible. But so this was really cool and everything. And then in 2018, it's hard. I couldn't quite find out if it happened again in 2018. It was supposed to. So in 2017, this was only from one airport, I think in Seattle, I believe, but it was extended to like San Francisco and Portland, or a few other airports on the West Coast.
Nice.
So I couldn't exactly find out if it happened in 2018 or not. Another perk was fur flight passengers were also given a collectible luggage tag and a Mary Mouse certified. So Mary Mouse is the one that does the certified pup or certified bear type thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So Mary Mouse actually was commissioned to do some certified Midwest fur flyer badges for this.
Cool.
So that was pretty cool. Now, on October 26, 2018 article, so Dog Patch Press has an article from October 26, 2018 about this. And he goes into detail about how, because of, well, I'm going to call them financial mishaps, it got shut down after 2018. So I'm not sure if it was before it happened in 2018 or not. And our very own Grubs, Grizzly and Boozy Badger have some comments and tweets in that article. And so some furs think that there was money fraud involved, and that's why it was shut down. But really, and this is what it says in the Dog Patch article, it really sounds like it was just mishandling of financial things, and it was just an overwhelming thing on poor Mr. Wolf that got it shut down.
Yeah.
In any case, so Canis Volps did have websites and Twitter and all this stuff about it, but you cannot find it anymore. Right now, Canis Volps' website and Twitter no longer exist. Dun, dun, dun! So there's that information about that.
Nice. Well, another CEU earned.
So if any fur was actually on this flight or knows more about us, write us in and tell us all about your experience or your knowledge.
Or call in on the next 5 Minute Furs and tell us all about it.
There you go.
Speaking of, I'm going to post the link for 5 Minute Furs right now.
Oh, is it time? Wow.
It's that time already, yes.
The other past today item I have is a question for you.
Yes. Okay.
And it does not have to do with socks or wallabies. Have you watched Squid Game yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. Then that concludes my past today.
There you go. No, I have not watched. I totally spaced off trying to watch that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Then as soon as you said squid, I thought you were going to say Squidbillies. And I was like, no, I don't watch Squidbillies.
Is that a thing?
That's a cartoon. It was a cartoon on the Cartoon Network for a while. I'm not sure if it's still around or not. Squidbillies. Yeah. Hard to say. All right. Well, so in our mailbag, it's in the chat. And if anybody's been in the BFFT chat recently, you will see a brand new fur in there,
Woo!
a picture of Orville. And that is Rain Raccoon's husband. He is a new fur. Hooray. Welcome.
Hooray, welcome.
Welcome, Orville. Orville the otter.
And you know, it's surprising. I mean, you'd think he would be a popcorn if his name was Orville, but...
Or a spaceship.
Was that a spaceship?
Yeah, there was a comedy sci-fi from Seth MacFarlane called The Orville.
Oh, another CEU earned and learned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Earned, learned, and burned. All right. Well, that takes us up to media. We'll just continue to talk until somebody comes in or the 10 minutes are up. How's that sound?
That sounds amazing and wonderful.
Amazing. That's Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. No, sorry. My Catholic came out. Sorry. Let me put that back in let me stuff that back in the bag.
In the Pandora's box, if you will.
Yes, right. So I started watching on Apple TV Plus a show called Invasion. This is an Apple original. It's about an alien invasion. And the story is told through 5 separate storylines throughout the course of the series. So if you have ADHD, this is not the show for you because there is way too many storylines to keep track of.
I see.
It's one's set in the Midwest U.S., one is set in New York City, one is in Afghanistan, one is in London, and one is in Japan.
Oh, wow. So you're jumping all over.
You're jumping all over, and they cut between locations, weaving the story. But you can't just, you can't get up and go to the restroom and come back because you might be in a different location and you have no idea why you're in a different location.
And you're trying to go pee. And if you're in a different location, it's like I was supposed to do that in the bathroom, but I'm in a different, and this is getting messy. Now all of a sudden
I'm in the woods. Yeah. So, and now the thing is, and spoiler alerts, I know this is about an alien invasion because that's what the write-up says. It's a alien invasion. And I've watched 5 episodes so far. And I've only seen the creature 3 times. And so briefly.
They're building up to a thing.
Yep. So it's like, I know it's about an invasion about aliens, but we haven't seen the alien yet. I mean, it took 3 episodes before you even saw the alien.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And I also watched a few more episodes of Housebroken, which is about the therapy group of animals. Yes, the doggies and
it is. I guessed right.
Yeah, it's about doggies and kitties and hamsters and a turtle all get together in a room and are kind of like the main character is her owner is a therapist, so she thinks that she's a therapist. So she has group with all these animals come together and talk.
I have heard about this. Yeah, I've seen ads. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it any good? Is it worth watching?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty darn funny, actually.
Okay, and I'll have to take a watch.
It's worth watching. It's on Hulu, I believe. Hulu or Netflix, one of those two. Yeah. And I did break down and watch the new Dune movie.
Ugh. Why did you do that?
Oh, you don't like Dune? You don't like sci-fi?
I like sci-fi, but Dune never did it for me.
Okay. Well, so spoiler alert, they did a very good job with it. But
spoiler alert, they did good.
Spoiler alert, they did good, but they only covered the first half of the book.
Oh.
And it's 2 hours, it's over 2 hours long, but they only did one half of the story. So
is there like a part 2 coming out?
We hope so, yes.
We hope so. Okay.
Well, the story went so far as to say the producers and directors and actors and everything said, well, they weren't going to commit to a second half if the first half tanked.
Well, that makes sense, though. Yeah.
So they waited for the release, and since it had lots and lots and lots of views and lots of people went to the movie theater to see it and made lots of money, they are going to go ahead and shoot the second half. So hooray.
Apparently the makers of that Rock Dog movie should have talked to these producers first before they made like a few extras. But,
Okay. But no, they just went ahead and did it anyway. So that's what I've been watching. I haven't read anything lately. What have you been doing? Watching?
Well, first you said something that I have to ask. So, and you've mentioned this before. So do you actually, like you're watching something, do you actually get up to go to the bathroom or make a sandwich or get up and do something else during the thing and don't push pause?
Oh, no, I push pause.
Okay. Oh.
I push pause, but some people don't.
Ooh. I know. So I'm so glad you said that because I was going to have a problem there. I have such an issue with people. Like, why are you getting it? Do you not like this show? Oh, yeah, I love this show. Then why are you like not watching it? Anyway.
Well, but if you want the full, true movie theater experience, you don't get to pause the movie when you have to go pee.
Exactly.
So you have to just, say, well, in fact, I used to have an app on my phone called Run Pee.
Okay.
And they would review movies and they would actually sit and watch the movies during release. And they would make notes as to when the best time to go pee would be during the movie in the movie theater.
That's very cool.
And they would give you a little synopsis of what happened during that time frame. And you could actually have your little phone out and it tells you as soon as, you see whatever movie it is, like if it's Paramount and you see the stars touch the water as they go in, they say, start the timer now. And then when it comes up time for you to go pee, it blinks. It doesn't vibrate. It doesn't make noises. Or your phone just blinks at you so you know to get up and go pee.
That's very ingenious of someone.
It was a very convenient app. So
yeah. Well,
but now they want like $10 a month for it, and I'm like, no, not so much.
No, since I go to a movie, like hardly ever. Sure, why not?
Right, hardly ever. I mean, everything's released on HBO and all the big channels at the same time they come out in the movie theater. Why should I even go to the movie theater anymore?
I don't even know.
Oh well.
Hole in the ground.
Even though hole in the ground earned.
Because you said, oh well.
Indeed.
You
okay.
Did, okay.
Oh, it's an oh well. That's where you get your O's from. From that they spring forth from the no. Okay. What have you been reading and watching before you keep going? I've taken the link down. Nobody came in, so it's your turn. Before I keep going, what have you been watching? Yes, it's your turn.
Well, it's not as exciting as all that. I've still been continuing on with South Park for Lunchies. Although it's interesting. Today, for Lunchies, the South Park episode I watched was one I didn't even remember. I thought I'd seen every episode, but apparently not. Or maybe I had, and it's been so long I didn't remember. It was a Halloween one. Anyway, and then we've been watching The Goldbergs, like I mentioned before, but we're still watching it. Such a great show. Mm-hmm. And The Flash, we're continuing to watch. So that's what I've been watching, and I have not read anything.
All right. Well.
So there it is. Not very exciting.
There it is. Just
Sorry, all
like
you
that.
furs, I'm not exciting.
Well, you're exciting enough.
We don't need any more. I mean, come on.
We don't need any more excitement from the pup. But
no,
many people have said, and many furs have said, if they could bottle your energy, we could power a small country.
That has been said many times, actually.
Yes.
To me and to others. So
yes.
there is that.
Yes.
There's that.
Exactly. All right. It is now, unless you have something else, it is time for Furries in the News.
Well, the other thing I have to say then is, like, after you say all that, it's like that one fur that came up to me at BLFC and said, you're so ragged. Like, you're usually running around, but now you're just standing there, and you're so, like, have you not? You really need to pay more attention.
He says, you look so run down. I'm like, wow, I just had to walk away.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of did too. I said, well, thank you. And then I ran away. It's like, Yeah, anyway.
So, Furries in the News.
The furries. The furries are. They are. No. Fairly is like, get it. Oh.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Haven, come on. The bark.
All right.
Okay.
Alrighty then. So, Penn State. You know where Penn State is?
It's not in Oklahoma, and it's not in China, but it's in
not, and it's not in your pen. Yes, they have a furry community there.
What? In Pennsylvania, where Anthrocon is, they have a furry community. That's crazy.
Well, this is Penn State. This is a college. This is a university.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a club. So Penn State is home to over 1,000 clubs and organizations. Can you believe that? 1,000
That's
clubs?
A lot.
Yeah. Right. And one of the groups that they have in that over that 1,000 is a hidden super secret group of furries.
Oh, well, yeah.
Ooh.
Better than that. I hope I never meet a furry. That would just be disgusting. I
know. Those furries, they ruin everything, I hear.
I know.
So this furry group, there in Penn State, one of their leaders, if you will, came out to the newspaper there. What is it called? The Guardian or something like that. The Collegian. The Collegian. Their newspaper. The Collegian, yes. And he said that he believes the furry subculture is misunderstood due to stereotypes and preconceived notions brought on by outdated media.
Well, that is 100% and 50 million% true.
Yep.
I could go with that.
He goes on to say, furries in 2021 come from a diverse range of backgrounds and experiences and are a group of awesome people. I agree with that as well.
Yay.
And if people got to know that, I believe it would open up people to the idea of accepting furries. So I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, no, good for him.
So the article goes on to talk about some of the other furries that are in there and how that there are some alumni furries that come back to various little furry events at the campus, which is kind of cute. So
it's nice.
They do all sorts of stuff like that. They have events and whatnot. And they're trying to normalize the furry fandom in Pennsylvania, which, as you said, it's pretty normalized there, I would think, already with, I don't know, Anthrocon going on there.
And how the entire city looks forward to and loves Anthrocon happening. So he's not, this club isn't as secret anymore, apparently.
Apparently not, now that they've been in the newspaper and on the web.
Let's go all out.
They use their fur names. They didn't use what they were doing or what their real names were. What was funny is they talked about, so it's article. So let me see if I find it here saying, so Izu, and then in parentheses, a sophomore in the digital arts program. So, okay. Yeah. It's like, okay,
well, that's a pretty small program, most likely. It's not going to be hard to figure out who that is, but okay.
Right. Yeah. And then another one was, with the engineering program and stuff like that. It's like, okay, they're not saying who they are, but they're telling you what college and school they're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we won't tell you who they are, but if you go over here to this room at this time, there they are.
Yeah. And if you yell Daz, I'm sure the person will perk right up and you'll know that that's the furry.
That would probably do it. Oh,
so that's all I have for furries in the news, unless you have something.
I do have something.
Do you?
I do.
What do you have?
I have a wallaby in my pocket.
Oh, I thought you were just happy to see me.
Maybe, I don't know. Have you heard of the Tiger Guy? And by that, I don't mean like the Tiger King, which, by the way, I found out today, he is serving a 22-year prison sentence for killing tigers and hiring a hitman to do something. Had you heard about this?
Oh, yeah, the Tiger Guy from Netflix.
But I mean, that's not the thing I'm talking about, but that's what I'm saying. It's not, but this was a by the way. Had you heard about that?
Oh, yeah. No, did you not watch that on Netflix?
I didn't, but did you know about his 22-year prison sentence?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then never mind.
At the end of the series, he was actually talking to the producer and the camera crew from the prison cell telephone.
Oh, so no, I have not watched it, and I'm sorry, all you furs out there. I just wasted your time because probably every fur knew this, and they're like, Taveman, this is so a millennia ago. What are you even talking about? Okay, so now we're on the same page there. But no, that's not the Tiger Guy I'm talking about. I'm talking about, well, let me just talk about him. His real name is actually Dennis Avner, but he's known as Stalking Cat. Well, he called himself Stalking Cat. Stalking Cat was an American man known for his extensive body modifications.
Okay.
And they were intended to increase his resemblance to a tigress.
Ooh.
And he has at least 14 surgical procedures towards that goal, and he holds the world record for most permanent transformations to look like an animal. And Stalking Cat was his chosen name. Have you heard about this kitty?
I have not heard about this kitty.
Yep, he lived 1958 to 2012.
He's a former kitty.
Yeah, he's a former kitty. Yeah.
Okay.
I won't talk about why he's a former kitty, but he is. Many of his body modifications were performed by Arizona-based artist Steve Howarth, and his first artist to begin the extensive tattoo work on his face was Larry Hanks in San Diego, who actually started the work way back in 1985. So Stalking Cat had over 14 modifications, including, now these are actual physical, a lot of these are physical modifications. So, of course, he had extensive tattooing, including his face, facial subdermal implants to change the shape of his brow, forehead, and the bridge of his nose. He had his nose flattened. He had silicone injections in his face. He had filing and capping of his teeth, surgically shaping of his ears to make them more pointed, piercing of his upper lip and on his forehead to facilitate wearing whiskers. He had green contact lenses with slit irises. He wore a robotic tail. And he spent about $200,000 on all these procedures to turn into a tigress.
Well.
And you can go online, search for Stalking Cat, even the tiger guy. I mean, you'll get some of the Tiger King things, but you can go on YouTube and there's a video by his channel name is More Beastie, actually, or More Beastly, one of the two. And you can go on, it's a 2017 video about him, and it is actually a pretty hilarious video. He has this video of, I mean, it's 2017, so he's got older footage of him. And so he shoots to a scene of Stalking Cat, like walking along some sand, gravel, just a like dirt path. And Stalking Cat is talking about himself and how he can walk silently. It takes him a while, but he can walk purely silently without making a sound. And then, but of course, you hear all this crunching of gravel as he walks, and the video guy like shouts out like, "You can hear him!" Anyway, it's kind of funny. But you can go on the internet and see all these images and videos of Stalking Cat. And he's not the only one. There's a few others that did extensive body modifications, which on the wiki page, you can go down and get a link to all of them, two of which include the Lizard Man. So he also has a world record at some point of most body modifications, and the Enigma. These are pretty interesting things there. So everyone go check this out. Write in and tell us what you think about this. And there's my furries in the news. Or furries that were in the news, as it were.
Furries that were in the news, yes. I'll have to go check that out. I'll have to look that up. And tigress.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
It's a tigress.
Yep.
I don't know that I would go to that length, or, well, I don't have that kind of money, so I would never go to that length.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a little bit extreme.
It's kind of like the furries that want that scientist to put the stuff in their brain now. So
yeah, it is like that.
And more.
I mean, there's the whole, transgender thing and everything.
Right.
It's kind of like that, born the wrong species type of thing. So
yeah, I was born the wrong species. I want to be a salamander. No,
I am a barking pineapple.
Bark, 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 squish. All right. So upcoming events.
Squish.
Bark, 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 squish. Because you step on a barking pineapple and it goes squish.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So coming up the weekend of, next weekend, actually, the 19th through 21st, 22nd, is, what is it?
It is Anthro Northwest 2021. Every fur. This is exciting.
This is very exciting, very exciting. In the largest hotel on the West Coast.
Well, at least Pacific Northwest. I'm not sure about all of the West Coast. It might be,
Pacific
but I know
Northwest.
at least the Pacific Northwest. It is new hotel that's the last A&W, which was in 2019. The hotel was only like 6 months new or something like that. It had just been completed in the summer. So we were like one of, if not the first big conventions to be held there. And it's a really nice hotel. It's really nice.
Well, you and I will both be there. Mm-hmm. Rain will be there. Orville will be there. And your hubby Tatsu will be there as well.
Tatsu will be there, and we will be there.
Lots of BFFT folks. Then the following weekend in Watuaga, I think that's our Watauga,
maybe? I'm not sure.
Watauga County Furry Convention in Sugar Grove, North Carolina.
Oh, I have not heard of this one. Do you know, is this a startup con or what is this?
It didn't indicate whether it was a first year or anything when I looked at the website. It just said 2021.
Here it is.
So
okay.
There you go. Don't know. So there you go. So
any North Carolina furs, if you're going to this, go and check it out and write us in and let us know how it goes. We want to know about these new or relatively new fur events and stuff.
Or events that we haven't heard about. So,
or like this one, for example.
We're going to read a tale of the Brothers Grimm. We're going to pick out one of these very strange little stories.
Impromptu. So every fur, this is all impromptu. We did not plan this because I was supposed to do math, but I fell down on the fluff. So we're just going to have to impromptu-ize.
Impromptu your eyes. Let's see. What would be a good one?
Is there any about a shoe running amok with a wallaby?
No, but I'm sure there's a shoe in here somewhere.
It's a shoe-in for a good story.
It is a shoe-in for the good story. And let's go with The Wolf and the Man. How's that?
That's actually, that title strikes me funny somehow. The Wolf and the Man. Dun, dun, dun.
The Wolf and the Man. All right. Now remember, this is Tales of the Brothers Grimm, and these are fairy tales that can be dark from time to time.
And this is impromptu,
and
so
strange.
we actually don't know what it's about. I assume we haven't read it yet.
We don't.
Have you, Barely?
I have not, and it's a short one, so here we go.
Okay.
One day, a fox was talking to a wolf about the strength of man.
The strength.
No animals, he said, could withstand man, and they were obliged to use cunning to hold their own against him. The wolf answered, "If I ever happen to see a man, I should attack him all the same."
All the same.
"Well, I can help you do that," said the fox. "Come to me early tomorrow, and I will show you one." The wolf... All right, so here's that old English thing. The wolf was early astir.
Early astir. I guess that means he got up early?
I guess. So now whenever we go to cons and I get up early, I'm going to say Barely was early astir.
Yeah,
all right.
I love it. You better. I'm looking forward to it.
And the fox took him out to a road in the forest, traversed daily by a huntsman.
Oh, so does he catch up? Because he's a huntsman?
Huntsman, not a. So the first...
Sorry, I'm so
First came an old, discharged soldier. "Is that a man?" asked the wolf. "No," answered the fox. "He has been a man, but he is no longer a man." Well, that's kind of harsh.
I know.
After that, a little boy appeared on his way to school. "Is that a man?" "No, but he will be a man someday." At last, the huntsman made his appearance, his gun on his back and his hunting knife at his side. The fox said to the wolf, "Look, there comes a man. You may attack him, but I will make off to my hole."
To astir my withering foot.
The wolf set on the man, who said to himself when he saw him, "What a pity my gun isn't loaded with ball," and fired a charge of shot into the wolf's face.
A charge of shot in the wolf's face?
Yep. The wolf made a wry face. A wry face. But
there's so much I could do.
But he was not too easily frightened and attacked him again.
Because
then the huntsman gave him the second charge.
Is not enough.
Right. The wolf swallowed the pain and rushed the huntsman. But he drew his bright hunting knife and hit out right and left with it, so that, streaming with blood, the wolf ran back to the fox.
Oh, nice. Okay.
"Well, Brother Wolf," said the fox, "how did you get on with the man?" "Alas," said the wolf, "I never thought the strength of man would be what it is. First, he took a stick from his shoulder and blew into it, and something flew into my face, which tickled frightfully. He then blew into it again, and it flew into my eyes and nose like lightning and hail. Then he drew a shining rib out of his body and struck at me with it until I was more dead than alive. Now you see," said the fox, What a braggart you are. You throw your hatchet so far that you can't get it back again. The end.
What? That's the end? Wait, so did I just hear you say the end?
That was the end.
So the hatchet is not a boomerang, we find out. And that's it.
Apparently not, yes.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Yep.
So, every fur, another challenge for you to write in and tell us what you think about the hatchet that was not a boomerang that ended the tale of the poor wolf and the man who is magical with ribs that he can pull out of himself or something.
Ribs and a stick out of his back.
Stick out of his back.
Shoots balls.
Cheese balls.
Shoots balls.
Cheese balls.
Cheese balls. Cheese whiz. Cheese whiz. Sheep dip.
Sheep dip.
Chips and
suck. Suck.
Chips and sheep dip.
Oh,
what's going to happen? When we get to season 3 or 4, we're just going to be an hour of us saying all our little catchphrases. It's just like hello, we're done.
Like I'll be sock, wallaby, done, sock, and you'll be like sock, done, mumbai, mum, and like then we're done. And this.
Yep, an hour and a half has gone by. All right.
Oh wow.
Oh my cow. All right. Well, since we have some time, then I think we should play. I should have known that.
I should have. That's a good idea because I'm sure I should have.
Okay. So
I hear the music.
I want you to pick a letter of the alphabet.
Squashfoot. No, wait, that's the wrong alphabet. I assume you mean the English alphabet.
The English alphabet, please. Yes.
Okay. O for orangutan. Actually, no, I don't want O. I want P for pup. Oh my cow! Did I just?
Okay.
Oh my.
Okay. P. So. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
P.
You know, when I was a kid, I thought elemento was one word.
I know, right? It is. Yeah. It's like, it's one letter. You don't find that letter in many words these days. It's part of the Old English. So, like when you get up, or back in the old days, when you got up early, barely, you early elemento P'd. I don't know. That didn't even work. Never mind. Oh my God.
And what's the song? What else is that song? A B C D E F G.
Won't you come and sing with? I don't know. I feel like I know this.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Pop. Yeah. No, I got it. Oh, duh.
Right, okay. Dun, dun, dun. I hold in my hand the questions and the answers.
Ooh.
Do you have your thinking pup cap on?
My thinking pup is on my fluff.
Okay. Now, you should know most of these, I think.
Uh-oh.
Now, there's only 4 questions. So
every fur, play along with me, and after Barely asks the question, push pause, and then we'll, on your thingy, recording machine device, and then when you think you got it, turn it back on and we'll find out how you did with me and how you did with the actual answer. And I have to say before we start this just reminded me when I said thinking, whatever I just said, device. On that episode of South Park, I mentioned that I didn't remember I saw that I watched today.
Yes.
It's so funny because, of course, it's so funny, South Park, but there are a bunch of witches like Randy and all the, some of the guys in the town do this witch thing every year, and one of the witches reads an incantation from a book they found from Salem, Massachusetts, and it turns them into an actual bad witch and stuff like that. And so the whole town is off, now trying to find the witch and stuff. Randy and the other guys are like, it's so horrible. It's like they're on this witch pursuit thing, and then someone else is like, yeah, they're on this witch trying to find thing, and they're on this, and then they even have a song later that they sing to the other members of the community to try and get them to stop hunting the witch because they're being associated with the witch. And so they make a line in the song that rhymes with hunt, but then the next line is witch pursuit thing. It's really funny because they should be saying witch hunt, but the whole thing is like,
we're all on the same side, you and I. Let's all stick together, let's try. When things are going bad and there's people you need to confront, just be sure it doesn't turn into a witch pursuit thing.
It's so funny. Anyway.
It's so funny. I'll have to go back and watch that tonight.
It's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for your first question?
Yes, I am, Mr.
Okay.
Fairey.
Whose two best friends are Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger?
Harry Potter.
You are correct. It is
Yay.
Harry Potter.
So, question for you. It's more of a this or that, but Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? I know it's a tough one for a lot of furs out there.
That is a tough one. I would have to say Harry Potter. I like the funness of Harry Potter as opposed to the darkness of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is a little bit, for me, and I know it's really hard for a lot of furs, but for me, and I'm probably alone in this, I'm like, Lord of the Rings all the way. I mean, I don't even have to think about it. Harry Potter's good and everything, but I'm totally all about Lord of the Rings. So,
Didn't we talk about the 30-hour version of Lord of the Rings or something at some point?
We did mention it at some point. The extended version, like if you watch all of them from the first to the third, of the trilogy, and if you watch the extended version, which I have on DVD, it's literally like 12 hours.
Wow, that's insane.
That's
crazy. Okay, are you ready for your next question?
Yes.
Okay. What type of race in swimming combines the 4 different swimming styles?
I think puppy logic has to go with this.
Yes.
So 4 different styles. So that means we're watching 4 different versions of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because Ryan Stiles and everything. Okay, so
Ryan
we've got 4
Stiles,
different
yes.
versions of that. But then we've also got on that show the British guy that I'm pretty sure is gay. I forget his name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Colin Mockery?
No, not Colin. Colin might be actually, but there's another one that I'm pretty sure is gay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Don't know.
so that one has to do with this somehow.
Yes.
And he swims apparently. And he's in a bunch of different swimming things, like the 100-meter dash and the incantation device that floats. And so the answer is that there's this one, like the corgi bottom. So that means that the answer is the event that combines all 4 of these styles is the corgi butt.
The corgi butt. Well, you are close.
Oh.
It's called medley swimming.
Which makes actually a lot more sense. Okay.
But you were very close with corgi. I mean, it's got some of the same letters in it.
See? The puppy logic was getting me there. I was trying.
Okay, question number 3.
Colin Mockery. I was trying to remember. I can picture him, but I was trying to think. I know his name, but yeah, that's it.
I always remember Colin Mockery on that show because they always did the green screen thing with him where the contestant had to describe what he was in front of, and he had no idea what he was... And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
So,
I have to go back and watch that again now. I haven't seen that for so long.
Those are some old shows. Okay. You know Mount Everest, right? It's
Not personally, but I hear he's a nice guy.
Right.
Okay. Anyway.
You know, it's the highest mountain in the world.
Yes.
What's the second highest? It's a short name. It's It's tiny. It's a
Fuji.
tiny name.
Mount Fuji.
No, it's K2.
There's something called K2? I have not heard of this mountain.
You have not heard of K2?
No. That's like so this is a mountain that's on Doctor Who because he's a little mechanical doggy, the little brother of K9, of course.
K9, yes. Which, by the way, speaking of, it's in my queue to watch, but the new Doctor Who series started this last week. So I'm excited to watch that. The last series with the gal. She's not coming back.
Oh. Well, after you tell me the answer to this, I have 2. This is all bringing 2 this or that's for you, actually, in my little puppy mind. So what is the... Oh, no, K2, we talked about that already.
K2,
so
we talked about the answer, yes.
I have not heard of this, but it's second. Where is it located?
On a mountain range somewhere, I think.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So the pass today for next time is to find out where K2 is located.
That's your assignment.
That's my assignment. I'm writing it down.
That's your assignment.
That's mine.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Yours.
My 2 this or that's for you are...
Yes.
So whose line is it anyway? British or American version?
American.
Really?
Yeah.
I am so surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah, I never enjoyed the British version.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought the British version was so much better than the American.
Maybe I just watched a couple of bad episodes. I don't know. It never spoke to me. if you will.
I am so surprised to hear that because you're all like, you love
very
British things.
British and
British
humor
comedy.
stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I watched the old British humor shows. Are You Being Served? And the IT Crowd and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Faulty Towers, of course, duh.
Faulty Towers, of course. Monty Python. So, but yeah, no,
really, yeah. I actually feel totally that. I mean, there were some good things in the American show, but really, I'm all about. So, all you first write in, British or American, whose line is it at anyway?
Yeah.
And so the other one is, I think we've talked about this though, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'll ask again.
Okay.
Doctor Who, British or the new stuff?
Well, they're all British.
I mean, like the BBC, the original Doctor Who.
They're all BBC.
So, okay, so let me say it this way. Doctor Who, the original or the newer stuff?
It's more of a continuum. There are certain doctors that I like, and there are certain doctors that I'm not real fond of. But
like
there
Colin,
are...
like in the original one, Colin, same last name as Tom. Why can't I think of this right now? No. The doctor.
Tom Baker?
Tom Baker. Right. And then there was Colin Baker. He was the last doctor, I think, of the he was horrible. He was all arrogant and everything. But Tom Baker was the best.
Colin Baker was one series, one session, one length.
Yeah.
Tom Baker was 9 series. And
Tom Baker was the best doctor, in my humble opinion.
He is the iconic doctor, yes, with the long scarf and the hat. And then there were some doctors that were short-lived and long-lived. I did like David Tennant. I loved Matt Smith as the doctor. I thought he was one of the best portrayed doctors ever, Matt Smith.
Are these new or old?
These are the newer ones.
Okay, I haven't seen any of the newer ones. I've seen a few,
but David Tennant was awesome in it, and Matt Smith was even more awesome in it. And then Jodie Whittaker, I like her portrayal the last 2 series, but we know that this series is going to be her last, and the showrunner is leaving also. But Russell T Davies is coming back. He was the one that revamped it after Tom Baker and brought it back to life. So he's coming back to run the show again. Did so bad.
Okay.
So yeah. So, but anyway.
Well, so
we have now digressed into Doctor Who talk.
Like as far as like actual, like not just iconic. I mean, for me, Tom Baker is the best. Like not just iconic, the long scarf and everything. Like I thought he did so good in it. I don't like. See, again, this is. I'm finding out interesting things here. Like I don't like the new stuff. I'm all about the old ones. I've seen like every single old, some of them even twice, maybe 3 times. But wow. I'm learning so much about you, Barely.
There's been a lot of spin-offs from Doctor Who as well. I mean, there's been Torchwood.
I didn't know that was a spin-off.
Yeah. Captain Harkness was another time traveler that came into the picture when David Tennant was the Doctor. And welcome to Doctor Who Speak with Barely and Tabin. So we've totally digressed from what we were doing, but I'm passionate about this. So Torchwood was actually an anagram for Doctor Who.
Really? Okay.
If you rearrange the words, in order for when they revamped the series and they got more and more popular, fans would try and steal the film reels between BBC studios. So they had to stop labeling.
Like you had the BBC studios and they would try and steal each other's.
So they would try. No. The fans would be like, they would have to take the film from shooting and developing to broadcast in the big tins because they were film, right? And so they would attack the carriers and try and steal the film canisters,
really,
with the film in it. Yeah,
that's craziness, right?
They started labeling it. They started labeling it Torchwood, so that they didn't think it was a Doctor Who in the can.
Really? That's hilarious. Yeah. That's amazing.
And then during the David Tennant years, there was one episode where he was with Queen Elizabeth I, and she established the Torchwood Institute, which would be to do experiments and stuff on alien incursions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, wow.
And so that spinned off into another series called Torchwood.
Wow.
And there was a short-lived one series about a gal that was on there. I can't think of her name, but she took K9 and they had a little series from Tom Baker, spin-off of Tom Baker's area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sarah, write-in fans,
Sarah, I forget.
let me know.
Yeah,
Sarah something, but she had her own series for one season. All right,
wow.
that was half an hour of Doctor Who speak here on the Barely Furcasting featuring Tabin show. So let's move on to the last question of
this or that. Oh yeah, we were doing that. Oh yeah, right.
This or that.
Okay.
We were playing trivia. All right. So, what does FAQ stand for? You see it a lot on internets.
It does not stand for furries are cute. It stands, where do you spell cute with Q currently? It stands for frequently asked questions.
Yes, and the frequently asked question of us is, why are you doing this?
That's like, we have an FAQ, and that's like, there's one question on there, and that's it.
That's it. But why are you doing this? And the answer is, because we can. So, there you are.
Internet police, this is what happens when you don't do your job.
The internet police. There's a special tree? There's a special tree for the internet police, apparently.
Special tree for I like it. Let's go search out this special tree.
They're hard to find because they're very good at hiding in the trees, like
they're
the cows.
They're very good. Like, they're with the cows. They have their own special society up there. The cows and the internet police.
That's why you never see a cow in the trees. They're so easy to hide.
Mm-hmm.
They hide very well. Yes. This is Mr. Smith. He cannot be seen. There's a Monty Python reference for you. Well, Tabin, when everything is said and done, much is said and little is done.
That is a true... No, words are not true or spoken.
Words have not been true or spoken. But, Tabin, it would appear that we're at the end is nigh. The end is nigh. To use old language, the end is nigh.
Stirring
the end of our podcast.
A stir nigh.
A stir. Early a stir. Wooden foot. I can hear our theme music playing. I hear it. And now we have to say goodbye.
I thought you were going to say you could hear the wooden foot.
The wooden foot. Well, it's a wooden shoe and a wooden foot. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I hope
you were
everybody...
saying, yes.
We have to say goodbye to our listeners. We have to say goodbye to our listeners now. I hope everybody had a good time. I hope everybody had a super time with us this week. We had a great time entertaining you, or at least boring you out of your mind for the last hour.
Either way, the mission accomplished.
And anyway, if you listen to the end, then yay! So, thanks to everyone who continues to donate to help keep the mice fed. And thanks to all of our staff who feed the mice. Be sure to check out our merch.
The mice.
The mice.
Feed the wallabies and the mice. They're more important.
You gotta feed the mice. You gotta feed the wallabies. I mean, because the mice spin the wheel that powers the interwebs.
Oh, it's the mice this time. The hamsters, they're on strike.
Yeah.
So the mice took over.
Hamsters are on strike. The mice took over. Wallabies just jump up and down, so it's kind of hard to keep
cheering
them
on or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yay, go mice, go mice, go.
Exactly.
Check out our merch on Bonfire. Remember, we have a Ko-Fi and a Patreon. It's been a super day. Moobarkfluff to everyone out there, and stay furry. Tabin, take us out.
Take you out to a night on the town with McDonald's and Taco Bell, even though Taco Bell got rid of all the things I like at Taco Bell. But
did they really?
They did. Like gorditas and double-decker tacos. Like double-decker tacos were like, but they got rid of them. And they got rid of gorditas and a few other things I like. So I won't take you out to there.
We're going to have to talk to Crunchwrap Earl and find out why those things are gone.
Exactly. That is a true statement. We know someone that can let us know.
We know someone, yeah.
So that's for next transformation. Watch out, Earl. You're going to get in for a knockin'.
Yep.
But speaking of knockin', thank you all you first for listening. If you're actually still listening, that means so much to us that you do that and support us. Just listening supports us. And we hope you enjoy. As Barely said, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you loved it, even. And we hope we didn't bore you to death. But if so, and you're still listening, that means you might need some medication. And that's great, too.
Or at least podcast fluid. So,
something. So whatever happened to you, we love you for it. And thanks for listening. And now that cons are happening again, we'll hug you tight with pausies. See you at one of the live podcasts if we do at a con.
We're going to do that at A&W.
We're going to do that at A&W. It might actually be on the schedule this time. NFC's coming up and everything, so that'll be great. But in any case, we hope you have a super great week. and we can't wait to bark at you next time. Until next time, we say fluff, Moobarkfluff, and bye-bye.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerves studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms, or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guest, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded, and directed by me, Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by myself and our associate editors, Rain Raccoon and Bixby Wolf. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by our music associate, Regday, with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Regday, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through SilvermanSound.com, Gator Tots on SoundCloud.com, and the YouTube Free Use Library. You can send us a message via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. The show is supported through donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.